trying to tell me that a man can get away with murder?
It happens every day.
Oh, yeah, man, I forgot. Them that got bread don't get hurt. Huh?
I was talking about problems in our court system, Jason. I didn't mean to imply that justice can be bought.
Well, imply it, man, because it happens every day of the week.
All right, hold it. Now, we're getting a little off base. We're supposed to be discussing the social unrest in this country right after the First World War.
Well, it was just like it is now. There were radicals setting off bombs all over the place, killing innocent people.
Maybe, but there were plenty of innocent people who got thrown into jail because they were suspected of being radicals.
Digging.
Do you have any facts to prove that?
I suppose you got a handful, man, that says you're right.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. My father used to be a judge. It's hard enough trying to convict the guilty.
Right. Them that's got bread don't get hurt.
Digging.
Okay, Val pointed out that right after the First World War, there were a number of bombings believed to be caused by radicals. Now, just what did our government do about it, Jason?
They flipped out, man. They were throwing cats in jail and out of the country all over the place.
Maybe some individual policemen and prosecutors did, but when the cases got to court, they got justice.
Oh, yeah? What about Sacco and Vanzetti?
Well, they're a perfect example. They were able to appeal that conviction for years.
Who were Sacco and Vanzetti?
A fish peddler and a shoemaker on page 230 of last night's assignment, which you obviously overlooked.
I'm innocent. I'm not talking till I see my lawyer.
Sacco and Vanzetti are nothing to joke about. They were convicted of robbery and murder.
Which they didn't commit.
Well, then why did they get the electric chair?
Because they were red.
Because they were guilty.
What do you think, Mr. Dixon?
Well, I think if you read all of the facts surrounding the case, you'll come up with your own decision.
Facts can be dead, man. I just wished I was there to dig the trial in action.
Hey, I got it. Why don't we do it? Do what? You know, act it out.
You mean you want to retry the Sacco Vanzetti case right here in class?
Right.
Yeah, man, that'll be better than the textbook.
Well, maybe you're right, Jason. Okay, we'll do it.
Yeah, but it was so long ago. Do you think we'll be able to get enough information to conduct a fair trial?
No problem. More books have been written about Sacco and Vanzetti than any other case in American history.
Hold the presses. Room 222's gonna write another.
I kind of like the idea. I tell you what you do. You kids do the research, hit all the high points, and reach your own verdict.
I can tell where popular opinion lies. How are we going to keep it from becoming a whitewash?
Oh, that'll be easy. We'll make you the prosecuting attorney. Jason, how would you like to be the defense attorney?
Okay, but don't expect no Thurgood Marshall.
I'll be judge.
I think I'd better be the judge, Bernie.
Objection sustained.
Hey, Your Honor, the defense would like to postpone the case on the ground it don't know what I'm doing.
Case postponed until tomorrow.
I'm sorry I didn't have time to talk to you this morning. Now what's the problem?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
What do you mean?
We've known each other ever since we were little kids. But lately, it's as if we were strangers. Something wrong at home?
No, nothing at all.
Oh, stop it, Val. Our folks have been friends for 20 years. I hear my mom and dad whispering. There seems to be some kind of big trouble up at your place, but you just don't trust me enough to talk about it. How come you didn't go to the Honor Society meeting last week?
I was busy.
Your grades have dropped. You're not eligible this semester. Why won't you admit anything?
Why won't you mind your own business?
Because I thought what happened to you was my business. And it's making me sick. Val, you're so busy pulling the wool over your own eyes that you're going blind.
Oh, knock it off, Sherry. People are looking.
Right, Val. Don't let anyone ever see you looking bad.
The only 3 applications he's made are to Yale, Princeton, and Harvard.
Well, when he aims high.
Yeah, and unrealistically. Val's grades are not what they used to be, Pete. Have you noticed?
Yeah. In my class, he's dropped down from an A to a B, but that's no reason to panic.
What about in your class, Alice?
He's doing B work.
Mm-hmm. And for Yale, Princeton, and Harvard, B work is not good enough.
Who's the Ivy League hopeful?
Val Silverton. And I wish I could convince him to try somewhere else.
I thought all this preoccupation with status schools was passé. Why didn't he drop out, get a van, and see Europe like the rest of the kids?
It wouldn't work for Commissioner Silverton, son. That boy is forthright, upright, and uptight. I sure hate to see a kid put himself in a pressure cooker like that.
Tell me this. Do you wear glasses?
Glasses?
No, I don't wear glasses.
Is there anything wrong with your eyesight at all?
No, I see just fine.
Good, very good. Have you ever seen this man before?
Yes, I've seen him.
Are you absolutely sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Jason, you get your chance to cross-examine the witness.
I just want to point out the lies as they're being told.
Oh, Jason, are you calling me a lie?
Not you, Pam, but the chick you pretended to be, she wasn't no George Washington.
Mr. Sacco, why did you slink off to Mexico when other men your age were going off to war?
Your Honor, I object to the word slink. It's influencing the jury in a bad way.
I agree with you, Jason, but the original trial judge allowed that line of questioning. So will I. Would you please answer the question, Mr. Sacco?
I went to Mexico to avoid the draft.
Would you call yourself a non-violent man, Mr. Sacco?
I'll say. You could also say that I was a bit of a coward.
Well, then why is it that the police found a gun in your possession when you were arrested?
Because I was afraid.
Afraid of what?
Afraid of what was happening to people like me. I mean, my friend was killed the day before I was arrested.
Would you call yourself a radical, Mr. Sacco?
Knew you were going to ask me that. Yes, I am a radical. I have big red horns, I breathe fire, and I frighten little kids.
The gun found in your possession was loaded, was it not?
Lots of people in America keep loaded guns.
Ah, but you're not an American, are you, Mr. Sacco?
I forgot that part. What do I say?
Your Honor, may I come forward and show the witness the homework he was supposed to do last night?
Allowed.
No, I'm not an American, but I love this country.
If you love it so much, why did you never bother to apply for citizenship?
Your Honor, I object. I don't see what all this has got to do with whether or not my client shot them two dudes.
It's a good point, Jason. A lot of people felt that way and condemned the original judge for allowing that line of question.
So what? I'm condemning. Are you allowing?
No, the idea of this exercise is to learn from the facts. Proceed.
Mr. Sacco, is it or is it not true that on the night of April 15th, 1920, you attempted to rob a shoe factory?
No, I wasn't there.
Furthermore, is it not true that meeting with resistance, you cold-bloodedly and with malice aforethought took out your pistol and shot the guard and paymaster dead?
No, I didn't do it.
Witnesses have sworn they saw you.
It wasn't me. It was some other guy who looks
Oh,
like me.
yes, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, how many times have we heard those words? It wasn't me. I'm innocent. It was 6 other guys. Phony alibis. Weak excuses. Black is black and white is white, and that man is guilty. He was indicted for robbery and murder, and he wouldn't be here if there wasn't overwhelming evidence of his guilt.
Hey, your boyfriend's something else, Sherry. I think he could pass his bar examination tomorrow.
Yeah. He's his father's son, all right.
Okay, everybody, settle down. I understand you're working on the Sacco Vanzetti trial in your history class.
You might say it's working on us. I'm tired.
Well, I thought it would be a terrific idea if we took a look at how literature commented on it.
Oh, no, not here, too.
Well, there are 2 great plays. Winterset and the Male Animal, novels by Upton Sinclair and John Dos Passos, poems by Edna St. Vincent Millay.
And from Whitman High, a Buffo performance by Val Silverton as prosecuting attorney.
You're late, Tony.
I'm sorry, Miss Johnson. I forgot my books. I had to go back.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get started. But before we get started on the trial, let's turn to page 122. Last night's assignment. May I see the paper, please?
It's about Val's father, Miss Johnson.
Former judge indicted. Commissioner Metzger. Commissioner Metzger in charge.
Val,
What is it?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Hey, you want to cry or something? I wish you'd let go, Val. I won't tell anyone.
Cry for that hypocrite, for that phony.
Val.
I hate him for this. I hate him for having made liars out of my mom and me.
Val, he may be innocent.
Yeah. Sherry, you said you heard your folks whispering at home. Well, I've heard things in my house, too. Hushed up phone calls, cars coming and going in the middle of the night. It's been coming on a long time.
Don't you think you should at least give him a chance to explain?
Explain what? Oh, he got careless and blew his cover? Look, Sherry, your folks have been friends with mine for a long, long time. You know what my father was really like.
Oh, Val.
We all had our roles and we played them. But nobody was supposed to know. That's right, Mr. Kaufman. I'd like you to write me a letter of recommendation.
Oh, I'd be happy to, Val. You kind of caught me by surprise. When was all this decided?
Recently.
I haven't had a word about it from Miss McIntyre.
I was just on my way to see her.
Val, this private school, is this your folks' idea?
No, sir. It's mine.
Have you even talked to them about it?
I don't need to, Mr. Kaufman. I can promise you that if you write the letter, my father will write the check. Thanks.
Hi. Am I interrupting something?
No, Pete, come in. Val and I were just discussing his plans to transfer to a private school.
Ooh. It's a pretty fast decision, isn't it, Val?
Fast decisions are the mark of a successful man. My father taught me that, among other things.
I heard the news. I'm sorry. Do you believe the charges?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't?
Not a bit.
Val, are you saying you don't feel obliged to support your father, whether he's innocent or not?
I've supported my father's phony image and stood by like his good, faithful little servant most of my life.
But tell me, Val, do you think that private school is far enough away?
What do you mean?
I mean, if you're going to run away and hide, why don't you do it right? You may bump into someone who knows your family there. So why don't you try Africa?
That's very funny, Mr. Dixon.
I'm not trying to be funny, Val. I saw you do a brilliant job playing prosecutor in my class. You took facts and you built a case. And now it seems to me that you're building a case on a newspaper headline.
I'm building a case on a life about which you know nothing, Mr. Dixon.
You're right. I know nothing about your father's life. I have a sneaky suspicion you don't know everything about him.
Val, you've already tried and convicted him. If everyone thought like you, we wouldn't need courts or lawyers. But we do need them to separate fact from emotion.
I'm not emotional.
You haven't shown your emotions until now, but you've been feeling them. Val, it's no disgrace. We all feel them.
Val, emotions don't go away by you pretending they're not there.
Yes. I see. Okay. Thank you. Val, Mr. Kaufman would like to see you.
What's that about?
Val's father's here.
Val, we're really sorry about all the trouble.
Thanks.
Hang in there.
Say, man, you be cool, huh?
Yeah. Zero.
Come in. Hello, Val. came here as soon as I saw the headlines. I wanted to get here before you read it.
If you were so anxious to talk to me, Dad, why didn't you when you got the subpoena? That must have been this morning.
The whole case is built on thin air, Val. We wanted to keep it quiet.
Oh, right.
Folks, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to leave you two alone. Thank you, Mr. Kaufman. I won't be long. It's all right. Take your time. I'm innocent, Val.
Oh, yeah? Why bother to tell me about it?
You're my son. I care about you.
You mean you care about how you look, don't you?
No, I mean I care about you. And yes, your opinion of me. I want to tell you something, Val. I've watched you looking at me and judging. And I saw the disapproval in your eyes when you found out that I wasn't perfect. Well, I'm going to tell you something now that I should have told you then. Nobody's perfect. Nobody. And the only thing I'm guilty of is not having set you straight on that a long time ago. Now I'm innocent of this charge, Val. And I'm gonna fight it. And I want you on my side. I love you very much, son.
So what are we gonna do if he doesn't show up? We win by default.
Hold on. This is not a baseball game.
I'm sorry I'm late. Here's my excuse.
Thank you. Are you going to continue the trial?
Well, yes, sir.
Okay. Jury in the jury box. Frank, I believe you were on the stand.
Mr. Vanzetti. Your Honor, I'd like to say a few words to the jury.
Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to caution you about prejudicial feelings. As you all know about my father, and some of you have spoken to me, and I really appreciate that. But I don't want your feeling sorry for me to influence your decision in this case. And just for the record, my father is completely innocent.
Hey, man, I thought in this country, man, innocent people don't never get in trouble.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I was wrong. I was wrong about a lot of things.
Hey, I'm a free man.
Right. You gonna drop the charges?
Well, absolutely not.
Why not?
Because I don't believe your story, Mr. Vanzetti. I'd like to question you about a few of your political associations of the past few years.
Objection.
To what?
To the fact, quote, a government which has come to value its own secrets more than the lives of its citizens has become a tyranny, whether you call it a republic, a monarchy, or anything, unquote.
Your Honor, would you please ask the defense attorney how that statement relates to anything that I'm talking about?
Sure, you can ask him. Look, the fact is, man, my clients are being tried for making some uncool political move, not for doing what they're accused of doing. And it says so right here, man, and the defense attorney in here know just where it was at.
Mr. Prosecutor?
That particular statement was made by the defense attorney in a motion for the new trial.
Oh, phew, man, that Val knows everything.
So, could I talk to my colleague and make sure that we clean up this hassle before we go on to the next one?
Jason?
Yeah, okay. But y'all had better dig this, man. All my objections are gonna be standing by ready, willing, and able.
Objections noted. Carry on, gentlemen.
opportunity room?
Uh-huh. You're not Mrs. Banducci. How come?
Exiled again. Back to Siberia. Opportunity knocks, dummy.
Someone robbed my English.
Hey, are we gonna get marked for opportunity? Hey, I gotta leave the room.
You just came in.
This is a free country, right?
No, not exactly.
Woo! We got us a right on system.
All right, everybody, simmer down. Take your seats. Let's see if we can't get something done.
Something done. Now, we don't do nothing. Not here.
You're supposed to leave us alone, and we won't bother you.
That's right. We're no good.
Oh. Now, you were sent here because you got into trouble with your subject teachers, and I would like to know what kind of trouble. Why were you sent here?
She insulted me.
For using obscene language in auditorium.
Man, you cussed in the auditorium. Man, shut up.
And you?
Oh, me and this young man, we had a little argument, you know.
For giving another student a bloody nose.
Oh, wow, shame, man.
And what did you do?
Like in social studies, I was wondering if to choose between a pear shape or a square cut diamond my boyfriend wants to give me for my birthday.
Here we go again, folks.
He's also giving me a red Alvarado sports car.
Oh.
All right. Lack of attention span and non-reality oriented.
This is true.
What's your name?
Tamara.
Have a seat, Tamara. Next.
I burped too loud.
And the rest of you. Why are you here?
Chalk fight.
For reading my luncheon class. Big deal.
We're all socially maladjusted, that's why.
Hey, how come you here?
Yeah, did you get thrown out of class, too? Are you a problem teacher?
She's not even a teacher, you dummy. She's a social worker or something.
No, I'm a teacher. I just specialize in counseling.
Are you here to shrink our heads or something?
I heard you the first time.
Well, I'm uncontrolled.
Hey, where's Mrs. Banducci? Oh, man, they just made her a warden of some prison farm or something.
All right, hold it down. Okay,
It says that I was cheating.
But you weren't.
Do you see that? She don't believe me neither.
I wonder why.
Well, I'd like to believe you.
Oh, yeah, that's what they all say.
Well, tell me what happened.
Well, I was talking to myself, and Bruckner thought that I was asking somebody else for the answer. I knew the answer.
Why were you talking to yourself, George?
I was telling myself what a jerk old Bruckner is. He doesn't like me to say it out loud.
What have you got against teachers, George?
Teachers. I love teachers. Greatest people on the face of the earth, teachers. Why, aren't you proud to be a member of such a great and glorious profession, Miss McIntyre?
As a matter of fact, I am.
You know, what I don't understand is why they call it the opportunity room.
Well, it used to be called the social adjustment room. You like that better? Well, you see, the kids are supposed to be given an opportunity to straighten themselves out.
It's tough. You get the kids for 50 minutes, and every one of them is hung up with some problem or another.
Yeah, you don't get to give any grades, so you got no leverage. Something happened. What happened?
Nothing.
Come on, Liz.
Let it all hang out.
Who was it?
Off the record,
Sure, off the record.
George Badgley,
Who sent him to see you?
Bill Bruckner.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Curly-headed kid. Lost his cool and blew up at Bill a couple of months ago. I remember that.
What happened?
He threw a book at Bill. Did he hit him?
No, but with that kind of a kid, you can never tell. He smiles one minute and goes wild the next.
Did he throw something at you?
No, but he's got the nastiest grin. Oh, like he knows what you're thinking.
Now, if he gives you any trouble, you send him in to see me.
George will be all right.
It is not George I'm worried about.
No, I like school. I really do. It's the teachers that bug me. I'm going to start this movement called GROT. G-R-O-T. Get rid of teachers. Write box 214, Washington, D.C., and everybody send their contributions to the Opportunity Room.
Give me that address again, will you?
All right, all right. Does anybody have any constructive suggestions? Like, what would you do if you were in charge of this school?
Well, I'd put a moratorium on all homework.
And a color TV in every room.
Yeah, and 6 months vacation with pay for all kids.
All right, get serious. Tomorrow?
If you're gonna get married, I don't know why you ought to have to stay in school.
Now she's getting married. Congratulations, babe.
Let's try something.
Now what?
Pass the paper back. Put your name, your best subject, and your worst subject.
What's this for?
Well, I'm going to try to help George get rid of teachers. So we're going to try a little experiment. A skill swap. Students teaching students. If it works, we may be able to do away with teachers forever.
I can take that.
Alicia, you speak Spanish, so put that down.
Can I swap Spanish for touching toes and gym?
Hey, I'm great in lunch.
I'm fantastic in weightlifting.
Yeah, well, then we'll give you all the heavy problems.
Funny.
I'll swap music for help in bio.
Tomorrow, what skill do you want to swap?
I don't know.
What was your highest grade last semester?
B+ in art.
Well, put that down. Now try to find somebody to help you with your worst subject, and I'll come around to check.
I got all worst subjects.
I'll help any good-looking chick in anything. Hey,
What about you, George?
No, I'm no good at anything. According to Bruckner, that is.
Why'd he send you down this time?
We had a test. I passed it, but he failed me.
Why'd he do that?
He has to have some fun, doesn't he? He works long, tedious hours for little reward. Failing me is like a Christmas bonus for old Bruckner.
Why did he fail you?
Same reason. I was cheating, he said.
Well, why did he think you were cheating this time?
I had my math book open on my desk.
Well, didn't you realize that having your book open during a test would naturally make Mr. Bruckner think you were cheating?
Well, he doesn't need any excuses.
Okay, George. But like I said, if you want help, I'll try to give it to you.
Why? I mean, why do you want to help me?
You figure it out. Bill, do you have some time?
Sure, about a minute and a half before my next class.
Bill, I've been rotated to the Opportunity Room, and
Good luck.
I had one of your algebra students, George Badgley.
George Badgley. That's a bad news kid from head to toe. You know, the weird thing is he's actually pretty good in algebra, but he bends himself way out of shape to antagonize me. And evidently, he's done the same thing in his other classes.
If he flunks math, he won't be able to graduate, you know.
I've tried with that boy, believe me. But I'm not a psychologist. I get paid for teaching math.
Well, maybe if you had a talk with him, gave him some extra time.
Memo to all teachers. Please send list of unassigned lockers to office before 3 today. Requisition slips in triplicate due this morning. Age level reports due before 12. Collect all books for inventory. If I gave him a little extra time. Extra time. What's that?
I knew it. I just knew it.
What?
You and old Bruckner in there, ganging up on poor little Georgie.
I was trying to clear up the misunderstanding between you two.
Tell me, Miss McIntyre, do you believe me when I say that I wasn't cheating?
Yeah, I believe you.
How come? How come you believe me? I mean, I could have been cheating. As a matter of fact, when I think about it, I was cheating.
George Badgley, you little...
There, you see? I knew it. I knew it all along. You really got it in for me, haven't you? As a matter of fact, you hate me, don't you?
Now it's your... Okay, now it's your turn to repeat it, okay? Okay. You can do it. I know you can do it.
News of fun.
Right.
Booze of death. Eels on.
Great! I told you you could get it.
Yeah, well, pretty soon I'm gonna have to start wearing a beret and eating garlic.
Okay.
Then I got this Hollywood offer. But my boyfriend wants to take me to this Caribbean island his family practically owns.
You sure tell great stories. You should be a writer.
I can't spell.
Well, that's what I'm gonna teach you.
George, Jerry's failing algebra. Why don't you help him?
Sorry, no can do.
Why not?
I'm afraid the teachers' union will get on my back.
I hoped if you started thinking about somebody else for a change, you'd stop feeling so sorry for yourself.
Great. Fantastic. Sigmund Freud hits Walt Whitman. Well, tell me some more about what's going on in the garbage pail of my mind, Miss Freud. I'm all ears.
I don't know what you're trying to do, but you make everything so hard for yourself. You're turning your back on an opportunity.
An opportunity for what? For Hank to teach me spelling or Laura to teach me maps? You gotta be kidding. The only map I need is the one that shows me how to get out of here. I'll see you around campus.
Don't sweat it, Miss McIntyre. Can't win them all.
You think you might find something in this permanent record that might help?
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder whether any of this means anything at all. Environmental factors, socioeconomic factors, non-academic minded.
Non-academic minded. What does that mean?
A delinquent. Let me see. We know he's good in algebra. Does he have any strengths or interests that you can work on? If he ever comes back, that is.
Insolent, obscene language, disruptive conduct.
If it only said latent leader.
Or a very high underachiever.
Arrogant, seems to think he should run the class.
Hi, Miss McIntyre.
Hello. Oh, Tamara, by the way, that was a fine drawing you did for Hank.
Was it really? You mean you really liked it?
Of course. Why, don't you believe me?
Well, I don't know.
It's hard for you to believe you do anything well, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it is.
Well, take my word for it. It's a fine drawing, and I'm sure Hank really appreciated it, too.
I'm glad.
Tamara, do you happen to know where I might find George Badgley?
I don't know. Oh, is he in trouble again?
No, he ran out of school, and I just wanted to speak to him.
I don't know for sure. Maybe the taco stand. He's there sometimes on my way home from school.
Okay, thanks. Tamara, you draw beautifully.
Well, forget it, Liz. I'm dropping out, and that's that.
You mean copping out, don't you?
Clever, clever. I ain't so hot in my vocabulary.
Well, that must be because you've had such lousy teachers.
Now I know why you're here. You want to fail me in taco stand.
You're a coward, George. When things get difficult, you quit. You blame other people. Mr. Bruckner hates you. I hate you. Everybody hates George. So poor George hasn't got a chance. But if somebody does like you, you push them until they hate you too. So you still have your excuse for not trying.
You've really been thinking about me a lot, haven't you, Miss McIntyre?
Sure have.
Wondering what's going on in that spaced-out George Badgley's head. Well, you don't know anything, you big deal teacher.
You think you could do any better?
Anybody could.
I'm asking you. Could you do better than I do?
Yeah, sure, so what?
Prove it.
What do you mean, prove it? What are you talking about?
Come to school tomorrow and take over the class.
I could do anything I want? No matter what?
No matter what.
Okay. Maybe we should start with what qualities you feel would make a good teacher.
Well, if she's absent a lot.
Yeah, deaf, dumb, and blind.
Okay, cut it out.
You asked us for our opinions and we giving them to you.
Yeah, very funny. Anybody got a serious answer?
A teacher should be intelligent.
Well, that rules out more than half of them.
All right, let's put down intelligent. And who did that?
Did what?
You threw that, didn't you, Vic?
No.
Don't lie.
He didn't
Man,
do
I
it.
I got a fever. I'd better go to the nurse.
I gotta go to my locker, man.
No, you don't. Neither one of you. I know all about that stuff. Now sit down.
Why don't you sit down and shut up?
Yeah.
Look, will you act your age? We're trying to have a discussion.
Louder.
Funnier.
Hiccup! Uh-oh. I have got the hiccups. You know, all my life I've been trying to catch him, and hiccup, I have finally caught the hiccup.
All right. You don't quit, huh?
Oh, what you gonna do, man? Send me to the opportunity room? I'm already there.
What are the qualities? What's the role of a teacher?
I gotta go. My fever's getting worse. I'm delirious.
I gotta sharpen my pencil, man.
I said cut it out. Now sit down.
I gotta go, just for the heck of it.
I don't got to go, but I'm going anyway.
All right, quiet down. You two, sit down and shut up.
You've got a piercing voice, teacher.
What is going on here? Oh, I get it. This is your idea, isn't it, Miss McIntyre? You told him to do this, so I'd wind up looking like a fool.
Since when do we do what a teacher says to do?
That's a terrible thing you just said, George. Miss McIntyre wouldn't do a thing like that. Don't you know that?
You. What do you know? You're so spaced out you don't even know your own name. Tamara. Everybody knows your real name is Gussie Huffner. And all that junk about your boyfriend.
George.
You don't even have a boyfriend. You're too skinny and ugly to have a boyfriend. You're just a liar.
George, that's enough.
That's okay, Miss McIntyre. I know I tell stories a lot, George. But at least I don't hurt anybody. Except maybe myself. But you lie too. You tell yourself that everyone hates you. But that's not true. I like you, George. And I thought you'd do pretty good as a teacher up there. But I guess you got scared when things didn't look like they were going too well, huh? So you had to start blaming everybody, right, George? I know how it is. Because I get scared a lot, too.
There's not much time left in the period, so why don't we get together with our partners at...
Miss McIntyre, can we continue this discussion?
Yeah, it's great to say in public what we always say in private.
Maybe we can give some real suggestions this time.
All right.
Miss McIntyre,
Yes, George.
can I say something? Gussie, Tamara, whatever you want to be called. I just wanted to say that, well, all that stuff they said, most of that stuff that you said was true. Almost all of it, as a matter of fact. And that's all. Except that you're not too skinny or ugly to have a boyfriend. I just said that because...
Because you're mean.
Yeah, that's right, Miss McIntyre, because I'm mean.
All right. You think you're mean enough to carry on as teacher until the bell?
Okay. What about some good qualities?
She should greet us with a smile.
Yes, she should have patience.
Right.
She should truly believe what she's teaching.
Yeah, and trust the students.
And be a friend.
Do you know that attendance in the opportunity room has been cut in half since Miss Banducci came back to take over?
Really? How come?
Well, a lot of kids were purposely getting booted out of their classes just so they could be with you.
You were making the opportunity room their favorite subject.
Well, it was getting to be mine, too.
Well, don't worry about it, because believe me, your good work has not gone unnoticed. We have plans for you.
Oh?
Oh, yeah. Did you know that we were going to create a greater opportunity room?
A greater opportunity room?
For those kids who couldn't come up to the high behavioral standards of the opportunity room. But we shelved that idea.
Oh, what happened?
Well, we decided it would be wasteful and unnecessary. You see, instead of starting a whole new classroom with all the problems that entails, we decided that we would just take all the difficult, unbelievably impossible kids and send them straight to you. What do you think of that?
Should I tell him?
Do you want an honest answer?
Yeah.
No.
is it? What in the world?
Hey, excuse me.
You talking to us?
Yes, could you kindly help me? This is my first day, and I'm told to look up the administration office.
Yeah, sure. I'm going that way.
Huh, thanks. I know I'd get lost for sure. There aren't this many buildings in all of Pawtucket County.
Where you from, man?
Webster's Turnaround, Missouri. But I know most people never heard of a Webster's Turnaround. That's why I say Pawtucket.
Well, look, I'm going this way. I'll see you later, man.
Come on. Come on. Hey! Hey! Hey, is that your bike over there?
Well, it belongs to the store I work for, but they let me use it.
Boy, that's some bike. Busby's Groceries. We deliver. Okay, Archie. I'll bet you're new in school.
How could you tell?
Your shoe gave you away. I didn't recognize the flap.
Oh, you mean my talking shoe.
Your what?
Well, it may be old, but it keeps me company. I can talk to it. Hello, shoe. Hi, how are you?
Hey, watch this.
It's nice to be in the big city, but people's shoes don't seem to talk much out here.
Oh, no. We better get going.
Shoe, say goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah. Hey, look, I'd really like to sit and rap with you in your shoe sometime. Yeah, it must have plenty of soul. Yeah. Oh, good. Let's go. Yeah. Hey, maybe I could sit down and chat with your shirt one of these days.
Oh, good morning, Rich.
Oh, hi, Mr. Dixon. This is a new kid in school.
Matthew Palmer, pleased to meet you, sir.
How are you?
Oh, by the way, my name is Richie.
You can call me Matt. A stranger stops feeling like a stranger once he's met a friend.
Yeah, like I always say. Oh, I was going to take him to the office.
Well, I'm going out that way myself. Come on, you want to walk with me?
Oh, well, in that case, I'll go to class. See you.
See you later, Rich.
You know, I can't get over how big this school is. The only thing my old school had bigger was the playground. It stretched about 50 miles in every direction.
Well, you must have come from a small town.
Yeah, this is really a chance of a lifetime coming here. Ma'am, if you're wondering why my birth certificate was issued 5 years after I was born, it's because I was born on a farm and there wasn't a doctor. But I didn't need to prove I was living until I started in school.
Well, there's more to it than that. You see, the standards are different. So although you're supposed to be in the 11th grade, I'm afraid we're going to have to keep you in the 10th.
Oh, busy.
No, come here. Mr. Kaufman, this is Matthew Palmer, a new student. This is our principal, Mr. Kaufman.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you. What's he so polite about? What's he done wrong?
Nothing. Matt's from a rural school, and it seems he has a lot of catching up to do.
I see.
But I was top in my class, and I read a lot of books. Leaves of Grass, Pilgrim's Progress, Tom Sawyer Detective, Huckleberry Finn.
Excuse me, Tom Sawyer Detective?
Yes, sir. It's one of my favorites. Don't you think schools are supposed to bring out the best in a person?
Oh, hopefully.
Well, if you all put me back a grade, how can that bring out the best in me?
Well, we just don't want to put you in a class that's over your head.
I can catch up. My family worked hard all their lives. I can do it for a few weeks.
Well, it might take a little more than a few weeks.
Well, I'll work harder a few weeks longer.
Well, he sure is determined.
I sure am.
Well, I think we can give him a chance. What do you think, Miss McIntyre?
Okay.
Thank you, sir, ma'am. I won't let you down.
All right, then take these to the registrar.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Good luck. Have you ever heard of Tom Sawyer Detective?
Sure, I read it years ago.
Another product of the Civil War was outlaws. The North considered Quantrell's raiders to be nothing more than outlaws in Southern uniforms. Then after the war, out of Quantrell's raiders came Jesse James and his gang, the Dalton brothers.
Say,
When those guys had a reunion of their old army buddies, it must have been something else.
It must have been. Now, was the war to blame for creating these outlaws? Or did these men use the war as an excuse to break the law?
Pardon me, sir.
Yes, Matt.
Now, I know it ain't right to glorify outlaws, but Jesse James did have some good in him. My great-grandma met Jesse once. If you'd like to hear about it.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, it happened to Grandma Cox. It was on her farm back in Missouri. And one morning, this man rode up and said he was tired and hungry and asked for breakfast.
Oh, brother.
Well, Grandma Cox fixed breakfast for him, and this man said it was the best he ever ate. He must have noticed that she was looking kind of sad, and she told him that the banker was coming that day to foreclose on her farm because she didn't have $300 to pay off the mortgage. Well, he thanked her and rode off, and you can imagine her face when she found $300 under his plate. And you can imagine the banker's face when she paid him off and he couldn't foreclose. He was still feeling kind of out of sorts riding back to town when that same feller stepped out with a gun and says, "Hands up, this is a holdup." And he took back the $300 and rode off. Later on, the banker identified a wanted poster, and you never guess who that bandit was. John Wayne.
It was very interesting, Matt.
So was Mother Goose.
That's enough, Archie.
Mr. Dixon.
Yes, Matt.
Did I do something wrong?
What do you mean?
Well, the kids were laughing and carrying on like they didn't believe me or something.
Oh, I think they believed you.
Then what?
Well, Matt, maybe it's because you're a new student. And new students often get teased a little at first. But I wouldn't worry about it too much if I were you.
I should have thought of that. It's just that I've never been a new student before. Thanks, Mr. Dixon. Boy, oh boy, this is really something.
Now, see, now, right over here's where you'll have your biology lab.
This is really something. Hey, what's this whatchamacallit up on the wall?
Oh, this is our fire alarm. In case there's a fire, you just take this thing and break the window and the bell rings.
Really? Our fire alarm back home was when someone yelled, "Fire! Fire!"
What the devil's going on here?
I was just,
You're just being a wise guy. That's what you were doing, right?
No, sir.
Let me give you a little advice, sonny boy. Don't be a wise guy, because you're not impressing anybody. Now, if you feel you've got to be a wise guy, you just keep as far away from me as you can, because I don't like wise guys. Not at all. Not one little bit.
Shoot, folks sure are touchy around these parts.
And then he was telling us the story about Jesse James, you know. Very interesting. But you know how the kids get when there's somebody different. They started to put him on.
Is he the one the kids call Bastrop McGraw? And they were teasing this tall, kind of skinny kid in study hall. They were asking him directions to the OK Corral and stuff like that.
That was him, all right.
That's a shame, isn't it? Such a decent, innocent boy. It's almost as if he's too nice.
Oh, I don't think you can be too nice. Matt's problem is that he's too naive. You know, he finds it hard to believe that anybody would take advantage of him.
Sure would be swell if everybody could be like that.
But they're not. Matt's just gonna have to wise up.
Don't worry, he will.
Yeah. If he's gonna get along at all, he's gonna have to become as tough and hardened and cynical as the rest of us.
Here he comes.
Boy, are we in big trouble.
Y'all in trouble?
I don't know what we're gonna do.
What a day for Jerry to get sick, huh?
Well, we gotta get somebody, you know?
What about him? I don't know. You think he can do it? He's got to. It's our only chance. What do you say, Matt, would you?
Sure. Would I do what?
Well, we're the fire drill squad, see? There's gonna be a fire drill in 2 minutes. Only Jerry, the hose monitor, ain't here. And we gotta go cover our post, but there's nobody to take the hose. Would you do it?
It's an honor.
Yeah. Usually only seniors get to carry the hose. What do you say?
Sure, I'd be proud to help you fellows out.
Great. Okay, take this. Good. Now go up the stairs to the 2nd floor and stand guard.
Is that all?
Is that all? Did you hear that? The second floor is the heart of the building. That's where the hose man has to stand guard. Okay, now let's hurry. Now get up there and stay there till we come for you. Go ahead.
Okay, and thanks a lot for letting me do this for you guys.
That's okay. Better get going.
What are you supposed to be doing?
Well, they said, you know the fire drill? Well, my post is here, see?
All I see is a wise guy. Now, I told you how I feel about wise guys.
I didn't mean you getting all wet.
Turn it off, you fool!
You know how serious it is to squirt a teacher?
I sure do, but I am sorry.
Well, sorry is not good enough, man. I mean, suppose there'd been a real fire while you were busy shrinking Mr. Windish's shirt with that hose.
Sure was a dumb mistake.
Man, do you realize that a bunch of kids purposely got you into trouble?
Well, I hate to think the worst of folks, but I kind of suspect you're right.
Well, that's something. Now, I'm going to have to know who those boys were. This is too serious an offense to let go unpunished.
I'm sorry, sir, I can't tell you that. My daddy taught me there's nothing worse than a man who tells on his neighbor.
That's very commendable, Matt. But those neighbors made a fool of you.
When you think you're doing the right thing, you don't ask yourself if you're being a fool for doing it.
Matt, would you wait in the outer office, please?
Yes. I know it don't help much, but I am sorry about causing so much trouble.
All right, Matt.
You do believe him, don't you?
No, of course I do.
Then there's no problem.
Oh, there's a very big problem. I can't have a kid as gullible as Matt running around the halls squirting people with hoses. Who knows what he's going to do next? Oh, more to the point, what they'll do to him next.
I know. But you can't punish him because of his gullibility.
Oh, I don't want to punish him.
What are you going to do?
Well, I don't know, but he's got to be straightened out so he won't make such a fool of himself.
Somebody's got to wise him up.
Well, exactly, but how?
I think I know.
How you going to do it?
Oh, not me. There's only one person I could entrust with such a delicate assignment. What you want me to do, man? I suppose you know how some of the students are treating that new kid, Matt?
Yeah, pretty cute.
Well, they're going to continue to give him a rough time if somebody doesn't wise him up.
Why don't you do it?
Well, because they would even be harder on him if they thought that I was giving him special attention.
Well, I ain't no social worker.
And it's none of your business, right?
I was gonna say that next.
Well, you can do what you want to, Jason, but you're the only one who can teach Matt how to take care of himself.
What do you mean? Why me?
Because you're the only one that I can think of who sees clear-headed enough to be able to teach a kid like Matt the facts of life.
Now, how about that?
You'll do it?
Well, if I can't hip him, he can't be hipped.
See, it's just that you never lived in a city before, and we want to teach you the score, understand?
Well, if you figure there's something that you should teach me, I figure I might as well learn it.
Hey, well, the first thing you're gonna learn is that I'm the one teaching, not him. He's got a lot of smarting up to do himself.
Well, what are you gonna teach me?
How to take care of yourself. There's gonna be a lot of cats sitting on you for bread.
Money.
They're gonna give you all kind of sad stories on how bad they need it and all. But don't give it to them. Okay? You got it? Give me a quarter.
Yeah.
You gonna give it to me?
I'd sure like to, but I'm afraid I can't.
That's better.
All I got's a dime.
Why would you give me your last dime?
'Cause you asked for it.
You didn't even ask what I wanted for.
A body has a right to his own privacy. You wouldn't borrow money if you didn't need it.
You know, if you look mean, cats wouldn't try to take advantage of you in the first place.
How can I look mean if I don't feel like it?
I'm not asking you to be mean, just look mean.
Look mean?
Sure. Then people won't even ask favors unless they really need it.
Yeah, man, it's all in your style. Look, just do what I do. Hunch over. Now put your hand in your pocket. Now scowl. Keep scowling. Now squint one of your eyes. Curl your lip.
Jace, let's try him on the walk.
Come on, try it.
I'm sorry, Jason. I can't do that.
Well, the only thing left for you to do is have it out with Archie. Then the others will fall in line.
You mean fight? I ain't been in a fight since Cousin Barney stuck my sister Lucy's head in a bucket of raspberries.
Did you whoop him something good?
No, but I yelled on him pretty fair. I don't believe in hitting.
Well, Archie don't have to know that. Sometimes a good bluff will do the trick. The next time he pulls something on you, tell him quit jiving or else.
Or else what?
Or else you gonna make him sorry he spoke your name in vain. You gonna beat his head down so far you have to pull off his sock to see. You'll grind him in the dust. You'll pulverize him. And then you gonna chew him up and spit out the pieces. If he tangles with you, he tangles with a wildcat. You gonna use him for a doormat. He'll regret the ever-loving day he set eyes on Matthew Palmer. Dig it?
Yeah. But I don't know if I can say all that like I mean it.
Well, if you want to survive here at Whitman, you better try.
Well, I'll do my best.
That boy.
There you go, Matt. You just may get it on yet.
Well, I gotta go to work. Oh, here's your dime.
Hey, come on, Gladys. Let's go over to the Greensleeves and listen to some music.
Oh, I'd like to, Archie, but Jeannie and I and some of the kids are going bicycle riding over at Adams Park.
Bicycle riding?
Yeah, sure, it's fun. Hey, why don't you come?
Boy, I'd like to, but I don't have a...
What'd you say?
I said I'll meet you there. I'll be the guy riding the slickest, wildest pair of wheels you ever saw in your life. Yeah. Matt, am I glad to see you. You gotta help me.
Help you after the trouble you got me into the last time you asked me to help you?
Oh, I'm sorry, man. That was just sort of an initiation, you know, to see if you could take it. We didn't want to get you into any trouble.
Well, I gotta go to work.
But you gotta help me. It's hard for me to ask you this after what we pulled on you, but it's important, no kidding. You gotta do it for me.
Do what?
Lend me your bike.
I can't. I deliver groceries with it. Would you kindly move, please?
But it's an emergency. My Aunt Lorna was taken to the hospital. I just got an emergency phone call. My folks are at work, and she's there all alone. I gotta get over there.
Is that the truth?
Would I kid you about something serious like this?
No, but I'm sorry. I gotta deliver groceries. Can't you take the bus?
No bus goes near there. Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Poor Aunt Lorna.
Well, okay, you can have it.
Great, you saved my life.
I deliver my groceries on foot.
You're too much, man.
I hope your aunt's okay.
So I think I made some kind of impression on that country boy, Mr. Dixon. He's gonna think twice before he let anybody walk over him again.
That's good, Jason.
Hi,
Glad to
Mr.
hear it.
Dixon. Jason.
Hi, Gladys.
Hey, hi, Mr. Dixon. Hey, Jay.
Hi, Archie.
Archie! It's not my fault if he believes everything you tell him.
So you lied to him and took advantage of him, man. Mr. Busby said he should be around here somewhere.
Yeah, he said he's on his way down to 2211 Willow Street. There he is.
Hey, Matt. Hold up a minute.
I couldn't tell Mr. Busby I loaned out his bike, and I gotta deliver all my groceries before supper time or I'll lose my job.
Well, hold on a minute. We've got somebody who wants to say something to you.
Hi, Archie. How's your aunt?
I don't have any aunt in the hospital.
You don't?
No. I just said that so I could use your bike.
To do what?
To go riding in the park.
You wanted to go riding in the park, so you told me that fib about your aunt being in the hospital?
That's right.
And made me deliver my groceries on foot, even though I might lose my job?
Well, if you're dumb enough to believe me, it's your tough luck.
Archie, I've had just about enough of you.
No.
Shut up. You shut your mouth or I'm gonna shut it for you. Now, I'm gonna give you one more warning, then that's it. Do I make myself clear? You mess with me one more time, I'm gonna knock your head so far down you'll have to take off your socks to see. I'll grind you into the sidewalk, pulverize you into mincemeat, chew you up and spit out to pieces. You tangle with me, you'll tangle with a wildcat. You mess with me one more time, you'll regret the ever-loving day you set your little piggy eyes on Matthew Palmer. Now beat it.
Hey, it's a long walk.
I said beat it.
You did it, Matt. I gotta say, you yelled on him pretty fair. Pretty fair.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be having any more trouble with Archie. Come on, we'll help you deliver those groceries, and then we'll go back and pick up your bike. What's wrong?
Well, you don't think I was too hard on Archie, do you? I mean, I'd hate to think I might have really hurt his feelings.
Come on.
I mean, I'd hate for a person to be really feeling bad on my account. Back home once, I knew a boy who had a habit of taking frogs to school, putting them in the teacher's bed, and one time he put one in prison.
Well, he was such a nice, gentle kid, so trusting. And now you and Jason have made him just as cynical and suspicious as everybody else.
Only suspicious enough to take care of himself.
Well, maybe he had something we've lost, a kind of openness, a belief that the next guy isn't always trying to take advantage of him.
Maybe. Well, anyway, I gotta get to the cleaners. I gotta pick up my one and only suit.
You going somewhere tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, where?
To dinner.
With anyone?
A friend.
Old school buddy.
Good guess.
I didn't know you were still in touch with any of your old school buddies.
Well, she's the only one.
She?
Liz, you know you're right. Matt's lack of suspicion was kind of nice. Trust is a wonderful... What?
Who are you taking out to dinner tonight?
You mean you forgot?
Forgot what? Oh. Tonight's beans and enchiladas night, isn't it?
Like I was saying, lack of suspicion and trust, wonderful qualities, but very rare these days, very rare. How many of you read a newspaper this morning? Jason, did you?
No, I just want to let you know I did last night's assignment.
Well, right now I'm not interested in last night's assignment.
Man, that's just my luck. When I do it, you ain't interested. You're going to be interested tomorrow in today's assignment.
That you'll find out tomorrow. Now, if you people don't read the newspaper, how do you know what's going on in the world?
I thought this class was history, not current events.
Everything that's in this paper happened yesterday, and yesterday is history. So, starting tomorrow, I want everybody to read the morning paper and be prepared to discuss it.
That includes the comics?
I'll tell you what. You spend a half an hour on the news and editorial section, and after that, you're on your own.
Mm-hmm.
I have that transfer student here I told you about. I was supposed to have a conference with Liz about him.
Be sure to have it today, okay?
Okay.
Brian. Brian Sturgis, this is Mr. Dixon.
Hello, Brian. Come on in. Class, this is Brian Sturgis, the transfer student. Why don't you just have a seat over there? Okay, let's get back to the newspaper. Who can tell me the difference between a straight news story and an editorial?
That's easy. Straight news is how it is, and editorial is how it ain't.
Helen?
A straight news story is a factual account of an event, while an editorial is the opinion of the editor or publisher of the newspaper.
Brian, we're discussing newspapers. Did you happen to read one this morning? Brian? Brian, can I see you a minute? What school did you transfer from? Can you hear me? Did you take history at your other school? What were you studying? Okay, that'll be all.
Painfully shy, withdrawn, attributed to severe stuttering.
No wonder you didn't say a word. What do they mean by severe?
Well, according to what I've read on the subject, they're referring to speech interruptions which can last up to 30 or 40 seconds.
Any speech therapy at his previous school?
It was a small school district. They didn't have any.
No private therapy either, right?
No chance. His parents prefer to think he'll outgrow it.
Oh, you talked to him?
I tried. It's like they're right out of the Dark Ages.
Oh, Brian? Can I talk to you a minute? I bet you know the tops of your shoes like the back of your hands. Brian, I know you stutter. Well, you gotta give me a little credit. When a kid doesn't talk in my class, I just go right to his records. And your records say that you're a severe stutterer. I'd like to judge for myself.
This satisfy your curiosity?
Okay, you got a handicap. But as far as I'm concerned, keeping your mouth shut is not the way to handle it. Look, Brian, I'm not suggesting that you stuff pebbles in your mouth and go out and shout at the ocean.
I'm familiar with Demosthenes.
I figured you were. What about speech therapy?
No, thanks. I tried that once. The guy just told me that I didn't have to stutter if I didn't want to.
Look, Brian, you're at a point in your life when you're going to have to make a decision as to whether or not you're going to be a bystander or a participator. Now, I'd like to try and help you become the latter.
How?
Well, we start off small. First thing you do is participate in my class. Oh, there might be a few who may react when they hear you for the first time.
What do I do if they laugh at me?
You ever try laughing back? Come on. Let's dig into history. Take today's front page. I'm sure that you noticed that each story had a byline written by a particular reporter, and others were by AP, UPI, and Reuters. What's that all about? Brian?
AP, UPI, and Reuters are press services. Newspapers. Ouch. Pay a fee to them and are supplied with news stories.
Thank you, Brian.
Hi, mind if I join you?
Sure. Please do.
Is that your lunch?
That's it. Black coffee.
Are you on some sort of a diet?
I was born on a diet. Inside this lean, incredibly beautiful body is a fat man screaming to get out. You know something? Right now, I could eat every pie in my Uncle Harry's bakery. Let's change the subject. Oh, hey, how's Brian Sturgis doing?
He's doing great. He participated in Pete's class today.
That's great. What was the reaction of the other kids?
Oh, a few breakups, a few snickers. The kid hung right in there.
That's just great.
Hi, gang. Oh, boy, it is marvelous. Absolutely marvelous.
Fantastic. What?
Oh, the videotape machine. After 3 days, we finally figured out how to work it.
How's it going?
Well, you know, it is going to revolutionize teaching.
You think so, huh?
Well, I don't have to do a critique on the kids. They can do it themselves. Oh, listen, I really have to get back. I just came to invite you all to a small banquet we're having tomorrow night to honor the kids that helped raise the money to buy it.
Small banquet?
You will come, won't you? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Mr. Kaufman?
Oh, how can I refuse?
Good. See you later.
How's everything going?
Just fine.
I thought you handled yourself beautifully yesterday in class.
They started to laugh at me. I got really uptight. I'm sure glad you were there.
Well, that's fine. But what happens when I'm not?
Guess I just have to learn to handle that.
Yeah, I guess you do. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine last night. He's a speech therapist.
What a coincidence.
Isn't it? Anyway, one thing led to another, and I told him about you. He thinks he can help.
My parents would never agree.
Well, maybe if you applied a little pressure and the school applied a little pressure, we might be able to convince him. Anyway, here's his card. His name is Dr. Lubin.
He just happened to give you his card, huh?
Yeah, it's funny the way things happen, isn't it? Oh, Brian, what are you doing now?
I've got a free period.
Well, why don't you drop in on Mrs. Johnson's class? A few of the kids are working on some entertainment for the banquet. They could use some help.
And I could use some more social practice, right?
You said it. I didn't.
Shoot. So I asked my grade advisor if she thought of... Shoot.
Oh, it's me.
Shoot. Necessary. Shoot. Shoot. If she thought it was necessary to
Look, Brian, I know I got 20 minutes invested in this story, but I gotta split the English.
But I gotta ask you a question.
Ask me tomorrow. After gym, I got a free period.
Hey, Bob, wait up. I'll walk with you to your class.
Wow. It's a beautiful piece of work.
What do you think?
I think you're right. Nancy should be in a creative writing class.
But how? I mean, she's on that 4-4 program. She doesn't have time for electives.
Well, I think with talent like this, we can find the time. I don't know how yet, but I'll think of something.
You have a very kind heart, Miss McIntyre.
And a rough job, Mr. Dixon. Come in. Whew. You kids look like you're about to confess you just set fire to the school. What's wrong?
It's about Brian.
What about Brian?
Well, Mr. Dixon, we took candid shots of Brian stuttering, and we screened him, and he saw him, and he flipped, so we're sorry.
You mean you taped Brian stuttering and you were going to use it as part of the entertainment?
Well, how could you be so insensitive?
It was just a joke. I took shots of kids doing all kinds of dumb things around school. Got a great one of Mr. Kaufman at the water fountain.
I'm not interested, Mr. Kaufman. But I am concerned about Brian.
But Mr. Dixon, if we didn't shoot anything on Brian, he could feel left out. This way he belongs.
Don't give me that. Don't you kids know the difference between fun and ridicule?
Well, you were the one who sent him down there in the first place, Mr. Dixon.
Well, at that time, I had no idea what fun you had in store for him. Well, one thing's for certain. That sequence of Brian is going to be edited out of that tape.
Grade advisor, if she thought it was
Alice?
necessary.
How'd you let that happen?
Tape.
Look, Pete, I didn't let this happen. I didn't even know about it. The kids went out on their own and shot this, and the first time I saw it was when Brian saw it.
But you're the one who's responsible for that thing. You should have made sure of what they were doing.
Look, I know. What can I say? I'm editing the tape now.
It's a little late for that, isn't it?
What else do you want me to do? You know, you're the one who sent Brian down here in the first place.
But that doesn't change anything.
You know, I feel as bad about this as you do.
I doubt it. Look, Alice, I'm sorry. You're right. I sent Brian to you. I apologize. And while apologies are in order, I guess I'd better go apologize to the one who needs it the most. Have any of you kids seen Brian?
Oh, we saw him. We tried to explain and apologize, but just bugged out.
We're really sorry, Mr. Dixon. We didn't think he'd take it the way he did.
I'm sure he did. I guess none of us gave it enough thought, did we?
Can I have your attention, please? If you guys hold down the noise, I will hold down the speech.
Works every time. We all know why we're here. We're here to congratulate both Miss Johnson and those students who did such a wonderful job of raising the money to buy this audio-visual equipment. I'm very proud of you. That ends my participation. That didn't hurt, did it? On with the entertainment.
All right, Bernie, I think we're ready.
Shoot.
Pete, cover the machine. I'll try to turn off the sprinkler.
Who looks funny now?
Very clever. How'd you do it, Brian?
I'm a smart kid. Remember, Mr. Dixon?
You're a smart kid, all right. Did you have fun? Did you get your kicks?
I think it was a pretty good joke.
Sure it was. You ruined the party, you got your petty revenge on some people who really meant you no harm, and you might have damaged that machine. Come in here. Brian, what you just did stunk. Now, none of us are to blame for your stuttering. We might be to blame for embarrassing you. We tried to apologize, but you weren't man enough to accept our apologies.
You couldn't find the words to apologize for what you did to me.
Probably not, because you're too caught up in your own self-pity to hear them.
What would you know about it? Do you know what it's like to just want to say good morning or tell a joke or tell some girl you like her? But you can't because you're afraid that they'll laugh in your face or run off in the middle of a sentence. Do you know what it's like to want to make a simple phone call? Do you know what any of that's like? Because I'll be happy to give it a name, Mr. Dixon. It's called agony. It's called... Hey, did you hear me just then?
I guess all we have to do is keep you mad all the time, huh? Come on.
To die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep, to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. How about that, the first stuttering Hamlet?
That's very good.
Well, not exactly what Shakespeare had in mind, but a pretty good Brian Sturgis.
You should hear me on the telephone. I call the information operator 25 times a day.
Why, you have something going with the telephone company?
No, it's an exercise a doctor happened to give me.
Well, I'm glad you just happened to run into him.
Yeah, well, sometimes things just work out like that.
Mr. Collins? Yes, I wanted to talk to you about this plan to put a uniformed policeman on our campus. No, I know we have that, but I assure you a blue uniform will make the situation much worse, not better. Well, who do I talk to? Well, no. Now, wait a minute now, Mr. Collins. Now, I spoke to him, and he referred me to you. Now... Uh-huh. Yeah, well, when does Mr. Landry get back from his vacation? Yes. Okay, thank you.
You all right?
Oh, I'm wonderful.
What did the doctor say?
Oh, nothing much. He said I have every ailment that a human being can have and a few that only horses are supposed to get. What you got?
A requisition for gym equipment.
Oh, you're joking. I signed that 3 weeks ago.
Yes, but they lost it downtown. Meanwhile, that form obsolesced and the new one was held up at the printers, and they want us to reapply.
Well, I say if you're going to get turned down, it might as well be on the proper form.
So he said, you can't call me that. And so I said, I can call you anything I want to. And then he said, who said so? And then I said, the First Amendment said so. So he said, I got him there, so he pushes me. So I pushes him back. And just then Mr. Windish comes up. And he didn't see his push, he did. He just seen mine.
That's it?
Yeah.
Jason, let me give you a piece of advice. Don't take it to the Supreme Court. The First Amendment does not grant the right of insult. Now, you go apologize to Stanley Ladislaus and don't let me see you in my office again, yeah?
Yes, sir. And if you do see me, I'll try and make it a social call.
Hold it. Okay, tomorrow we'll discuss the War of 1812 and see what interest it did have. Dismissed.
Oh, Pete.
Oh, hi. You look a little tired.
No sleep. I was up all night hammering out the departmental breakdown on this new budget. Pete, I'm afraid I'm going to have to tell you I'm sorry again about your new textbooks.
Me too. I thought we were supposed to have them 3 weeks ago.
Well, I did too, but Amos Wardlaw, the new member of the school board, is conducting an investigation to make sure that the author of those textbooks is not a subversive.
Just because he spent a month in Russia?
Nobody's going to go on record as being soft on a possible communist during an election year. Hi.
Hi.
So urgent.
Robbie Carver, remember him?
It's a kid that got in trouble last year, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was in correctional school.
He was. He's out on probation now. And they've sent him to Van Buren High.
So? They don't usually keep kids in the same school they were in when they got in trouble. You know that.
Well, they sometimes are Miss McIntyre. Yes, he is.
Thank you. Hello. Mrs. Wheeler, yes. Oh, no. Thank you, Mrs. Wheeler. School bond was defeated.
Well, we kind of expected it, didn't we?
Well, I don't know. It was close. I thought maybe... You know, there seems to be a popular notion that education is just manufactured out of air and water, and is not supposed to cost any money. I don't know what they expect us to accomplish with a kind of a budget. Okay. What about Robbie Carver?
The boys he got in trouble with last year go to Van Buren. It's the worst possible place for him. He's terribly vulnerable. We got to try to get him back here. We just have to.
Yes, I don't know that we have to. I've got reports to study, recommendations to look at.
Mr. Kaufman, take my recommendation. Make your own report.
Okay, see if you can get him in here tomorrow. I'll talk to him.
What about right now?
Robbie?
Robbie, how are you?
Okay, Mr. Kaufman. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you, Robbie. I understand you're not too thrilled with Van Buren.
Mr. Kaufman, I know I have no right to be choosy. I know it's up to me what I do with my life and all that stuff. But, like, if I stay at Van Buren, you see, there are these guys.
I told him, Robbie.
You know, Robbie, they're going to be guys any place you go. I mean, I think you just have to learn to choose your friends more carefully.
Oh, it's not that easy, man. Well, like, you know, I'm a big shot over there, being in correctional school. You know, they follow me around. They look up to me.
What makes you think it's going to be any different here at Whitman?
Because, well, I'm not much, Mr. Kaufman. I never was. Maybe in my whole life, there's only been 2 people that ever made me feel like I was somebody. Well, that's Miss McIntyre and you. If I'm gonna make it, I have to be here.
Okay, Robbie. I'll make some phone calls. Hang in, I'll see what I can do.
Thanks, Mr. Kaufman.
The superintendent says his hands are tied. Mr. Cowles, I am drowning in channels. A boy's future may be at stake here. Well, something's got to be... all right, good. Who? Oh, yeah, Charlie Fielding. All right, where can I reach him? When will he be back from Washington, Mr. Cowles? Yes.
Mr. Kaufman, my senior play opens in 2 weeks, and I'm really desperate for my muslin.
Muslin?
Yeah, you know, for the angel costumes, 14 yards. Did you forget?
I'll order it today, Miss Johnson.
Good. Hi.
Hi. Oh, speaking of phone calls, that reminds me. I better try Fielding again.
Still no action on Robbie?
14 phone calls, nothing.
Oh, Mr. Kaufman, there must be another way. I mean, there must be. We can't leave that boy in that school.
Miss McIntyre, what would you like me to do? Excuse me, folks, I'm sorry. Miss McIntyre, I'm sorry.
I'm Mrs. Vogel. Could I talk to you for a minute?
Well, right now, Mrs. Vogel,
Oh, please.
All right, come on. Have a seat, Mrs. Vogel.
It's about Leonard's saxophone lessons. He tells me the man who gives the free lessons is leaving the school.
Yes, unfortunately, due to the failure of the school bond, we won't be able to keep our musical instructor.
Mr. Kaufman, my Leonard is not what you'd call a very intelligent boy. Just between us. You should see what a difference, all of a sudden, when he puts the saxophone in his mouth. It's a whole new boy.
Mrs. Vogel, I can appreciate what the saxophone does for Leonard, but I don't know what to tell you.
Now, I know you only got so much money to work with. Me too. But you're supposed to be giving kids a way to live after they leave here. Well, with Leonard, it's not books. It's the saxophone.
Mrs. Vogel, we can only hope that one of these days soon the taxpayers will vote us the money to hire back our musical instructor. Until then, I'm sorry.
You take time out from work to do for your kid. Nobody cares. Genuine inherited musical talent and nobody cares.
She's right. Nobody cares.
Oh, come on, Liz. What's wrong now?
I just got a call from Robbie Carver's mother. He was arrested today. A kid from that Van Buren High gang was busted for pot, and Robbie just happened to be in the car with him.
Speak to Mr. Fielding. Tell him it's too late. Carver. It's too late for Leonard Bogle. Maybe it's not too late for me.
Mr. Kaufman?
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Kaufman. Mr. Kaufman, we heard, well, I mean...
Is it true that you're splitting?
Splitting? Oh, I seem to be together pretty good.
Hey, Mr. Kaufman, we just want you to know we think you should think about it.
Thank you, Jason. But everybody wants me to think about something that I've been thinking about for a long, long time. I'm taking a year's sabbatical. I'm tired. I need a rest. After that, we'll see. This day has been something else. You know, all day long, I've had people telling me, little boy, why don't you just get yourself some sleep and you'll come back fine tomorrow. It's not like that, Pete. I've made a thought-out decision.
I know you have, but that doesn't mean we have to like it. We are affected, you know.
Well, I appreciate that, but I can't change my mind because of it either. I mean, a man gets to the end of his rope, he's either got to jump or hang himself.
What brought it to a head, Robbie Carver?
Well, that triggered it, I guess. But it's not just one thing. That's the trouble. It never is. It's evasion and red tape and going through channels, and then the channels dry up on you.
Like fighting shadows, huh?
That's the trouble. You see, I can fight as well as the next guy. Just give me a solid enemy. But these people that don't say what they mean, or they don't mean what they say, or they don't say anything because it's safer that way. I can't fight those people anymore, Pete. I've had it.
But maybe you're accomplishing more than you think you are. And maybe you're underestimating the value of your services around here.
No, I don't think so.
Do you have any idea how the kids feel about your leaving?
Well, they'll feel bad for a week, and then they'll adjust. Kids always do. That's a great thing about them. You see, Pete, I'm tired. I want out.
Oh, hi, Alice. Oh, no. Is it definite? Yeah. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye. Just got some great news. Guess who Mr. Kaufman's replacement is going to be?
My old buddy Casey?
You should be so lucky. Paul Freebush.
Yeah, well,
I wonder if Mr. Kaufman knows about that yet.
I'm sure he does. Why?
I should think that would have some effect on his plans.
Not in his state of mind.
Oh, I don't believe that, Pete. How can he go knowing he's going to be replaced by a man who tells the papers that any student who refuses to cut his hair should be expelled?
Well, Mr. Kaufman sees an open door after 18 years, and he's not looking back.
Maybe we have to find a way to get his attention.
Like what?
Well, some of the students have been after me to throw a surprise farewell party for Mr. Kaufman.
He won't like it. But it is a good idea.
And maybe we can have a surprise guest. Why don't we invite Paul Freebush?
Pete, you know how I hate amateur theatricals. This historical drama you're dragging me to better be more important than my appointment at the barber shop.
You are a conscientious administrator right up to here, aren't you?
I know it.
We sure gonna miss you around here, Mr.
Right.
Well, why do I feel like I'm under Queen Mary?
Well, my uncle gave us what he had left over from his flower shop, but we all figured you'd understand the sentiment.
Thank you, Bernie. Thank you all very much.
Come on, Helen, now it's your turn.
This is from all of us, Mr. Kaufman. Pam did the artwork.
That's very good, Pam.
Go on, Mr. Kaufman, read it.
Well, we'll all remember Whitman High with memories so dear, the games we've played, the friends we've made, the growing we've done here. But of the people we'll recall, one stands above the rest. Our Mr. Kaufman, strong and tall, we'll always love the best. Thank you all.
Nice big key.
There it is. How's that?
Thank you, Miss Johnson.
Okay.
Thank you. Paul, hello. I didn't see you in all this commotion.
Seymour, I feel a bit out of place, to tell you the truth.
Tell you the truth, so do I. Pete, you know I hate surprise parties.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Paul Freebush. This is Mr. Dixon, Miss McIntyre.
How do you do?
Acquainted with the persuasive Miss McIntyre, as we've spoken on the phone.
Why don't we all sit down here?
I persuaded Mr. Freebush to come today to sort of break the ice with the kids. We've been having a fascinating discussion.
Oh?
Yes, Miss McIntyre has some very liberal ideas.
What on earth were you two discussing?
We were talking about discipline, Mr. Kaufman.
Correction, my dear young lady. We were talking about lack of discipline and what happens when you remove the security of tried and true regulations from young people.
I didn't know we were talking about soldiers, Paul.
Oh, come on, Seymour. You know as well as I do it's the survival of the fittest.
I know that some survive and some don't. Who's to say that it's the fittest that survive?
Seymour, I really believe your decision to take a sabbatical at this time is a wise one.
Well, you do. Why?
You sound as if you can't tell the difference between healthy apples and rotten ones.
Paul, you sound like you can't tell the difference between rotten apples and human beings.
In matters of discipline, there is no difference. In order to save the healthy ones, you get rid of the rotten ones.
Has the thought ever occurred to you that the rotten ones need our attention as well as the others?
The schools have their functions. The jails have theirs.
Well, I guess the only question is, which one are we?
Whoever your future husband is, Miss McIntyre, he's got himself a handful. Well, I have to leave. Nice meeting you both. Seymour, we'll be in touch. Excuse me.
Prison's lost a first-class warden when Paul decided to become a school administrator. I may reconsider. But I may not. In any case, please don't think that you've fooled anyone with this obvious little maneuver. And so, if it'll help, I'm volunteering to come to Sacramento at my own expense to give the Education Committee my views on the importance, make that on the desperate importance of these additional funds. Yours truly, etc., 3 copies. Okay? Thank you. All right.
Well,
What are you grinning at?
Just heard the word. I don't have to tell you how glad I am, do I?
Well, I appreciate it, especially since I still don't have your textbook. You know, Pete, it wasn't just Freebush that decided me, although he helped. I got a letter last night when I got home from my son. I'd written him that I was quitting, and he sent me a letter that he'd received when he was thinking about quitting the Peace Corps. Here, take a look.
I understand you're wanting to quit the Peace Corps. I understand your disgust and frustrations with the red tape and the politics, and your feelings of impotence and uselessness. You say you are of no value, but you are wrong, because when people like you quit, they tend to be replaced by people who don't care and who don't fight. And when nobody's fighting, everybody's losing. Ask the guy who called you a bleeding heart what hope he thinks there is for the world, except in hearts that bleed. With love always. Dad? You wrote this?
That'd be a lesson to you anytime you feel like giving somebody advice. You may have to eat your own words.